Where's the freaking phone? Oh, there it is. So, welcome back. It is here. Let me check out my just received clock. It is almost 30 minutes past 3 in the night here in Holland. And I actually got to bed at 12 o'clock. And I just cannot sleep. And so I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna play some games. Or a game. And I'm not really in the mood of, you know, I'm not playing Persona. Well, I'm not really in the mood of doing that now. Today I beat the second boss at Persona 5. And, it is one day before the deadline. And I am 29 hours into the game. I actually haven't played the game for such a long time because, of course, this is, you know, I'm now halfway through my vacation and only played 29 hours with Persona. Actually, not that much. Of course, it's mostly because of, you know, my driving license and E3. And also, you know, doing other stuff, you know, this weekend or last weekend I was away from home and stuff. So, and of course playing other games. That's what I'm also doing. So, I didn't want to really, you know, play a game where I really have to focus. Let's say for that. You know, I really have to check out because I am a bit tired. It's just I don't fall asleep. It's really annoying. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's, you know, just fly around a bit. You know, Gravity Rush. You know, the game definitely has some annoying features, but the feature that works absolutely perfect is flying around. That just works fine. Getting all these crystals. I think you got a trophy for like getting 50,000 crystals and upgrading all your stats. By the way, there actually are a lot of optional bosses to defeat. I didn't even know that. But supposedly in the mining operations, or what you can do. You can actually have random encounters with bosses, and of course you can defeat those. I'm happy though that I beat the game. I was kind of afraid that I won't be able to beat the game because I was really, you know, I was almost at the end of the game and I was not interested anymore, especially because all the other games came out. But since I, you know, beat those, you know, last week I was like, yep, it's time to play this game. And it was really frustrating, I have to admit it. But after that, especially like the ending, it was really good. It's such a shame that this game will be, you know, overlooked by most gamers. It's pretty much like back in the day on like PS2. People overlooked like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, or Eco. It all depends on how you want to say it. And you know, as we all know, there's now a full remake coming for Shadow of the Colossus. It's not just a small remaster, it is pretty much a full remake. You know, of course that's logical. If you have seen the trailer, it looks absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's like giving these type of games a second chance. And I believe that if it succeeds, we're also gonna see Ico. Oh shit. And for me, like I got Ico for PS2 and I got Shadow of the Colossus for the PS2, but I never played those. Don't ask me why, I don't know. So, for me personally, you know, playing Shadow of the Colossus is gonna be my first. So I'm pretty excited. Can't be sent. That sucks. That's so weird. Oh, okay, whatever. So there are actually rumors that Sony Japan is still working on something else besides Shadow of the Colossus. Well, pretty much like Shadow of the Colossus is being remade by Bluepoint, so it's not actually Japan Studios. There are a lot of rumors that they're working on a new RPG, and Sony Yoshida actually confirmed that what they held back on purpose on E3 because they already had so much games. And, you know, of course, it's something that I have been saying for quite some while now, is that PlayStation experience is, for Sony, it's going to be bigger than E3. Like, especially like last year, the amount of, how do you say that, attention it got was insane. You know, people really liked PlayStation Experience last year, and I think that Sony is going to, you know, have their own show being bigger than just a show for everyone. It's logical. You know, it would be weird. Like, the first PlayStation Experience was alright, it was pretty good. But, I mean, the biggest mistake what they made was they didn't really show, like, PlayStation exclusive stuff. I mean, if you have a show about one system, and that is your own system, it should be PlayStation stuff. You know, like, you're not gonna spend time and money to go to that, you know, PlayStation Experience, and then the only thing they announce are multi-platform crap. That's not why you're there. You want to see the exclusive games. And, you know, Sony last year on PlayStation Experience did an incredible job for doing that. I mean, you know, PlayStation Experience was freaking amazing. What's up, Anime Cooper? Are you from America? Can you tell me how late it is there? Hey, there is a whole forest here. I actually did not know that. I actually did not know this. Holy shit. So there are trees in this game. Sort of forests. Oh, it's actually not that great. Not that bad. Looks pretty good. Oh. I didn't know that. Pretty cool. Oh wait, of course, that was from the first one. I think you had to steal something here. Ah, yes, of course. I remember. Really, you think? I don't know. I mean, of course, this is just the, you know, the area from the first game. What's that? But I mean, they've added a whole new city. That's pretty good, right? Sucker. Yeah, I mean, so they've added a whole new city. And of course, you know, you now have a lot more, how do you say it, like side missions and a lot more stuff to do. You have the online system, that's pretty cool. I think they have added enough. They put really good graphics. Well, Anime Cooper, like, this game is considered a AA game. I'm not entirely sure if you know stuff like AAA, you know what those things mean, but so Sony has their AAA line of games, stuff like The Last of Us, God of War, you know, the new Spider-Man, that's now considered a AAA game, definitely. You know, and Days Gone, all those big AAA games. Sony also has its smaller line of AA games. And AA games means it has a small budget. You know, it's not AAA game, you know, it's not Horizon. You know, Horizon it's been rumored to cost $50 million. You know, it's not, this game is not Horizon. So what Sony also has, as I mentioned, is the AA line of video games, you know, making the diversity in its library. So those are games like Gravity Rush, The Last Guardian, Shadow of the Colossus, Ratchet & Clank, Everybody's Golf, Knack and Knack 2. You know, those are the smaller games that maybe cost like 5 million or 10 million. So, of course, you are going to see that in especially graphics. You know, so for example, for such a big game like this, I mean, this game is gigantic in scope. So Sony Japan Studio really have put in more of the gameplay and the storyline and its music and its art style than insane graphics. What's up, Tyler Thunder? Yes, Sony Yusho Shida has confirmed that they intentionally held back announcements for E3 because they already have so much stuff to show. And you know, as I mentioned in the beginning of my stream, the PlayStation experience is going to be, you know, a lot more bigger for Sony than E3. So they are going to show more, like E3 is going to be like for AAA stuff, and PlayStation experience will be like the PlayStation experience, you know, like the diversity, you know, this games and Shadow of the Colossus and the Japanese games, the smaller games. So those games will be announced for, you know, PlayStation experience. But as I mentioned in my video, I would be lying if I was not a little bit disappointed. I expected at least one new exclusive. If it's a smaller budget or a big budget, that didn't matter. I was just expecting something new. And I mean, sure, we got Shadow of the Colossus, and don't get me wrong, Monster Hunter is like, for me, that is a big bomb. That's like a megaton. I absolutely love Monster Hunter. And it sucked monkey ass that, you know, it went to the Wii and you know, and to the 3DS. I was really expecting Monster Hunter to come out on PS3. It did happen in Japan, but never here in the West. So having a Monster Hunter, holy shit, like, holy damn. This is just, you know, I wasn't lying in my video. I literally said, like, holy damn, holy shit, like for 5 minutes long when I saw Monster Hunter. But I was totally amazed. And that really made this E3 special for me. Just for Monster Hunter. But everything else, sure, Sony had a good show. It was nice. But besides Shadow of the Colossus, we already knew everything. Yes, I have heard that rumor, Tyler Thunder, that indeed Japan Studios is working on a lot more games. So as I mentioned, there's a rumored Japanese RPG, especially because of the success of like Persona. And there's also a rumored action game. So it's really interesting what they're doing. And of course, don't forget Bloodborne 2. Like, I was seriously expecting Bloodborne 2 at E3. But now that I think about it, it could be the big announcement for PlayStation Experience. You know, it could be the big game for PSX. Yes, as of right now, as you've seen, they are putting costumes, you know, in this game. There is a free downloadable storyline with Raven and playable Raven. I haven't played it, by the way. I haven't played Raven, but I got like the Fantasy Star outfit and I got the 2B outfit from Nier Automata, but they haven't really announced anything new. But you have to consider that these type of games, and Clank, they are the smaller, like Wipeout, they are the smaller games to let you wait for the big ones. That is how you should see it. You know, like Microsoft is only having like 1 or 2 exclusives every year, and only, you know, at the end of the year. So what you pretty much have is, if you're a huge fan of Microsoft, you have to wait an entire year to play it, a new game. An entire year. An entire year is a part of someone's life. If you're gonna be 60, that is 1/60 of your life. Sony and Nintendo both know that consumers are going to be pissed off if that happens. And that's why you see that both of these companies are making smaller games, they're making AAA games, you know, to really cater to everyone, to making sure that you always have something to play. Yes, I've heard those rumors of Devil May Cry 5. I'm not entirely sure. Did you, by the way, read that Monster Hunter has been in the works for 4 years? Like, holy shit. That's a long time. And they have made the game for PlayStation or for consoles because there was such a big demand. So they did listen to us. They did hear many gamers cry out and say, you know, we want a console experience. And Capcom specifically said, especially on PS4. You know, people were crying out for a Monster Hunter. So, and I'm so happy. I am so freaking happy. The game is going to be awesome. Like, I love Klaudkil on PS4. I am still once in a while playing God Eater on PS4. I still need to buy Klaudkil 2. You know, I love Hunter games. And like Monster Hunter is still the best one. Exactly, Anime Cooper. That is something people really don't understand. Sony already has like 11 or 14 exclusive games in the pipeline. Naughty Dog cannot create Uncharted and The Last of Us. You know, Santa Monica Studio cannot create God of War and another big one. It takes time to create a big exclusive game. So every studio from Sony is already working on something. Everyone. Besides Sucker Punch. Like, that's the only thing people were really expecting, the new game from Sucker Punch. What's that? Who the fuck is that? Oh. Oh yeah, of course, those are the photos. So it's kind of weird why people are saying like, you know, Sony didn't show anything new. No shit, they already have more than Nintendo and Microsoft combined, you know. And I am not bitching at Nintendo. Nintendo is awesome. You know, as I said today, or yesterday, I am 100% going to buy a Switch. Xenoblade 2 seriously looks like one of the most anticipated games in a long time. It looks so good. It seems to be such a lot of fun to play. I just want to have Xenoblade 2. And Zelda. But Switch will really be used for, you know, exclusive games. You're not gonna see me, you know, buy a lot of games for it. But mostly, like, it all depends on how big Switch is gonna be and how much, you know, exclusive RPGs the Switch is gonna have. I think that the PlayStation experience will be longer, yes. PlayStation experience is more like a show, you know, where Sony's E3 is also a show, but as like Sean Layden is a really cool guy. He's really nervous in front of so many people. You can clearly see it at him, but he's a cool guy, and I think that many people didn't understand what he meant. He specifically said at the beginning that Sony already has the hardware. They already have VR, they have the Pro. They don't need to announce anything. You know, he pretty much confirmed, you know, we're not working on PlayStation 5. It's not gonna come out in a long time. And it's all about the games. He specifically said that it's about the games now. It's not about hardware anymore. It is now, Sony is focusing on the games, as I have been saying for many, many weeks. And Sony did exactly what I said they would. They're only gonna show games, and that's it. They don't need to talk. They don't need to brag at how much, you know, systems they have sold, of how powerful the super pixels are. They don't need that because they have the games. And that's exactly what they did. you know, I still would have liked at least one new announcement, but it's up to them, you know, to release a new game. But you know, E3 is really about the future, about what is gonna come next. And that's the thing Sony kind of failed, because they didn't show that. But what I also liked is that they finally showed release dates. I think that many gamers also did not see the pre-show. There was 1 hour of pre-show, and there they showed Gran Turismo and its release date, Matterfall, a couple of VR games. One of them is from the creator of Until Dawn. So the new game from Until Dawn got announced. Neck 2's release date. Everybody's Golf release date. People didn't see that. Yes, it's people are just weird. And I have to admit, like, Nintendo had a good show. Nintendo, in my opinion, won this year. You know, I'll give them that. They really had a good show. They really, because Nintendo brought the games people wanted. People wanted a new Metroid Prime. You know, they wanted the game, and they didn't show anything. They didn't show gameplay, whatever, but they pretty much showed that, hey guys, you bought a Switch, don't be afraid, there are more games coming up. This is not the end, you know? So that's really cool. So I definitely think that, you know, if you want to have the best of everything, you have to have a Switch and a PS4. And like, if you're a PC gamer, go get the PC. You know, go play on Steam or, you know. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, you don't need an Xbox. They're, like, if you love racing games, you get Gran Turismo. If you love shooters, there's enough shooters out there. You know, if you're not a huge fan of Gears of War or Halo, there is no reason for anyone to buy an Xbox. But there's definitely a reason to buy a Nintendo. But that's just my opinion. You know, I'm not trying to brag or anything, you know, or trying to sound stupid, because myself, I am 30 years old. I have been gaming since like I'm 6 years old. So it took me 24 years to finally say, okay, it's time to also get another gaming system. You know, it's time to not see Nintendo as the enemy, but as, you know, an ally. Say, you know, looking at Nintendo and saying, hey, they're Japanese. They have Japanese games. I love Japanese games. I need a Nintendo. It took me 24 years to do that. So, of course, everyone has their own stuff. But you will never gonna see me say, oh, I need an Xbox, because there's just nothing on it. Microsoft's show was good. You know, I really felt like, okay, they have done a good job. But what made me really angry is that some voice announced exclusive, and then at the left corner you see launch exclusive, and that is just a different word for timed exclusive. Even though Phil Spencer was, you know, crying against Sony that they have timed exclusives. And I'm like, they have like 20 exclusives that are timed. That's bullshit. I was surprised that Microsoft had like Code Vein and Dragon Ball. That was cool. You know, I genuinely was like, that is cool. That is really cool. You know, they at least acknowledge the Japanese gaming market. It's just that it's too late and too little. Like, it's fine that Monster Hunter is on Xbox. It's not gonna sell. You know, it's gonna be the last Monster Hunter on Xbox. After that, Capcom will be like, fuck that shit. Same goes with Namco Bandai, with Code Vein. It's cool that it's on Xbox. I just have a feeling that it's gonna sell so bad that Namco Bandai is like, whatever, we don't give a shit anymore. You know, and that's why you see so many Japanese games being exclusive to PS4, Switch, 3DS, you know, and PC. Yes, they're definitely trying their best. But here's the thing, Anime Cooper, with Microsoft. They are definitely doing their best to make sure that as a gamer, you get the best experience you can have. Scorpio is an incredible system. It looks amazing. It's so small. It's powerful. Yes, it's really expensive, but compared to like a PC, it's really cheap. But here's the thing, you really have to learn from Microsoft. They do not give a shit about video games. They don't care. They're just like, oh, you know, they're just saving their own face. Because if they would announce like, oh, we're stopping making consoles, people who bought the console will be pretty angry. If they really cared about the gaming industry, they would have invested more in making games. But as we have clearly seen, they're not doing it. They're making only Forza, Gears, and Halo. They don't give a flying fuck about anything else. Oh yeah, you have Crackdown. Yay. The power of the cloud that never happened. And that is what makes many gamers angry and pissed off. That they really just show like they don't care. Yes, you can have the best exclusive on Scorpio, but who cares? Yes, I actually heard that rumor of the new Wild Arms. That could be the RPG they're working on. Yes, they don't have more games because they're just not making them. But of course, I mean, you know, if you're a fan of Xbox, it doesn't matter. You know, at the end, we're all gamers. I personally just, you know, I don't need to buy an Xbox. There's nothing on it. Yes, I think I got 2 games on Steamboat Chronicles. I think I got the game on PS2. And I got a PSP game, if I am not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure what it is about, but isn't it about like a boy who builds like steam robots, like tanks and stuff, and he has to fight against other robots and tanks, sort of. Many Japanese games are actually really rare, especially on PS2. Talking about PS2 RPGs, Hack Dot Last Recode has been announced for PS4. It's gonna be a compilation of all 3 Dot Hack games. on one disc, fully remastered, 1080p, 60 frames, improved battle system, improved flow of the gameplay, improved graphics, of course. I'm really hyped because you know, in the days of the PS2, I was a child. You know, I didn't have work. Of course, you know, I was a kid, so I missed out on a shit ton of games. And let's be honest, if I had the option to play a remastered PS4 version or the PS2 version, of course I want a PS4 version. Also because you can stream it, you know, that's why I love the PS4. Because I can finally stream stuff. You know, I haven't done that for a couple of years, but last year when I started streaming, I'm like, I see why so many people like it. It's really cool. Especially because I can talk to you guys, you can talk to me. You know, if you know my channel or not, it doesn't matter. We can talk about, you know, the game I'm playing or the game, everything else. It doesn't matter in my opinion. Because .hack or hackgu also announced for the PC. Now, the PC industry in Japan is actually really small. So, if they really want to sell the game, it has to be on Steam in the West. And I think, well, I pretty much know we are getting all the good games. If you look at the releases, if you look at how many Japanese games we're getting, we are most probably getting every game that's being made from Japan. From games like Gladden, to Blue Reflection, to 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. We're getting everything. So, I am almost 100%, you know, I know we're gonna get the game, hackgu. The only thing I don't know is, are we getting a physical release? It's Namco Bandai. Namco Bandai is a really big supporter of physical medium. So I think it's a really good chance we get the game physical. And if not, there is a big chance that there's gonna be a Play Asia English release. You know, like an Asian release. And those are always playable in English. So there's a big chance that we're getting that. So I think it's like 90% guaranteed we're getting a physical release of the game. I would be surprised if not. Because if I'm not mistaken, they also said that they're working on a new game in the Hack franchise. So it would be weird if, you know, they don't make a physical release for it. They should know that many people like physical games. Okay. Ugh. Yes, I'm getting tired. Yes, that is totally right. It is much easier to get it from a retail version instead of limited run or Play Asia, but you know, if limited run wasn't here, we wouldn't see many games. You know, at the end of this gen, limited run is going to be the biggest publisher in the world. They're gonna publish at least 100 on PS4, so you know, it's gonna be awesome. In my opinion, I love limited run. You know, you should know that. So I totally love these guys. But yeah, of course I'm not gonna buy everything. I just buy the stuff I want. Hello, sexy. Yes, I'm really a supporter of physical medium. I'm really a supporter of that. As a consumer, we should get a option. We as a consumer should get the option of, you know, do we want the game physical or do we want the game digital? And many developers are not giving us that option, and I think that's really annoying. And that is why I love Limited Run so much, because they just, you know, they give an option for us to buy the game physical. And of course, yes, there are many Japanese games in development. Many. I can pretty much guarantee there's gonna be 50% of the entire PS4 library, if we exclude indies, is gonna be Japanese. You know, so all the Japanese, all the games from the West, you know, that are not indies, against all the Japanese games, 50% is gonna be Japanese, and that's huge. That is big. Heck, well, even maybe with indie games, because a lot of indie games are of course also Japanese, we could actually see 50%. 505 games are awesome. These guys are really pushing a couple of big games. And what is it? Other developer, publisher. I mean, I don't think it is it 5.5 games. The guys that are going to release Action Verge and what's the other game, that arcade shooter? I forgot the name. I played the game. It's so cool. It's also getting a physical release. I forgot the name, but those are two big indie games that they're going to make physical releases of. That's really cool. This looks so impressive. Oh yeah, Badland Games is doing that. This is just, you know, you really don't have a game like this that has such a unique art style. Like, look how cool this looks. And consider how much work it must have been for me, you know, to make all of this. Oh, that is cool. Friday the 13th got released on your birthday. So you didn't die? Yes. I believe that maybe on PlayStation Experience we're gonna see Shenmue 1 and 2. I have good confidence in that they're doing that. And the reason for that is this. There is a big following for the game. That is, everyone knows that. The game, you know, many people love Shenmue. But here's the thing. The games never sold well. So the following is still, you know, maybe 100,000 gamers, 150,000 gamers, if that even reaches that number. Shenmue 3 is not going to sell if people don't know the storyline. Like, let's look at me. I never played Shenmue 1 and 2. I never had a Dreamcast. I never had an Xbox. If I, for example, would play Shenmue 3, I would be like, what the fuck is going on? it wouldn't make any sense. So they really have to remake the first one so that it can create a bigger fan base for the people who are interested in the game, specifically because we all know it's like before Yakuza, so we all want to know, you know, the game that made Yakuza big, what is it? But I never played it. It actually, to be honest, it would be cool if you could have like a free mode, like I'm doing right now, just flying around for fun, and have that up with like 6 or 8 players. Just having fun, you know, just roaming around, flying around. That would be really cool. I don't know if that works, you know. As I mentioned, this game is a budget title. It's a small game. You know, they don't have millions of dollars to make the game, so they have to cut out something. I think I'm finally getting tired. How late is it now? Holy shit, 4 o'clock. Like, this is just beautiful. Like, how amazing it is how they created this. It's really insane, in my opinion. I don't know. Dark Cloud 3? Holy shit. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe if like Ni no Kuni 2 is a huge success, you know, and it has a big chance of doing that. I mean, Ni no Kuni 2 looks amazing, and you know, Japanese RPGs are finally getting back a little bit, so it could sell a lot. That maybe, you know, level 5 is going to be like, oh, you know, people do want to have RPGs like that. Maybe people do want to have a new Dark Cloud. I would. Dark Cloud 2 is awesome. Yeah, that would be cool, just flying around, fighting. It definitely would have been cool, but I like, you know, people really misjudge how hard it is to make an online game. So, you know, they really have to make sure it works. And like, let's be honest, what would you prefer? An online mode in this game, or them making a totally new game? Well, to be honest, I would rather see a new game than, you know, an online mode in this one, to be honest. Well, after NAC, after Ratchet & Clank, after everybody's golf, we could definitely see that like the next game in their AA lineup is gonna be Ape Escape. That could definitely happen. I think it's really smart from Sony to you know, make these games $40 and not $60. It really helped Ratchet and Clank sell a lot. And hopefully Wipeout 2. Because Wipeout is amazing. If you guys haven't gotten Wipeout, buy it now. It's freaking awesome. Especially if you have a Pro and 4K. Well, I don't have it, but I've heard it's one of the most impressive games on this generation on 4K. I don't know. Well, first up, Yoshida himself mentioned that they're done with Gravity Rush. So we're not gonna see another game in the franchise. And to be honest, I am kind of done with Gravity Rush. You know, 2 games, it was cool, it's unique. Let it be that, you know, don't fuck it up. Just make something new. I would love to see Bloodborne 2 or, you know, a new game in a new franchise from Japan Studios. Japan Studios have awesome talent. They have an incredible, you know, mindset, as you can clearly see. And they actually create games, you know, almost patch free, because this game is patch free. So how much you need. So I played like almost an hour, and the only thing I can do is just one upgrade. Oh well. But guys, I am finally getting really tired. Hopefully I can at least fall asleep. Tyler, Thunder, and Anime Cooper especially, thanks a lot for chatting. I've never actually seen you in one of my streams, so I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, parkour. Parkour would be cool too, but I mean, you have Infamous for that, sort of. I don't know. Like a real traditional RPG with like a really cool, you know, art style would be cool too. Okay, thanks a lot guys. And see you next time.